He killed his wife and married the ghost, all for wealth and power. But what he didn't know was that dead never forget, and now every night is like a hell. The weddings are scared, a bond of trust, a celebration of love, but not all bride make it to the altar, and not all groom deserve the ring. This is a tale not of love, but betrayal, murder, and vengeance from beyond the veil. Her name was Teni. Teni met Alex on a rainy afternoon in Lekki, beneath a faded blue umbrella. She offered him shelter when it broke. He offered her a smile that melted the tension in her chest. That smile would become her comfort and eventually her curse. They fell in love quickly, late night calls, small gifts, big dream. Teni, the only daughter of Chief Aluko, a man of quiet wealth and loud expectations. Alex, an ambitious man from humble beginning. He wanted to be more. She saw the man behind the hunger. Her father didn't approve at first, but love softened even the hardest of hearts. Eventually, he gave them his blessing, and a wedding plan that would shake the city. Neoma, Teni's cousin, stood beside her through it all, smiling, helping, cheering her on. Teni trusted her with everything, her secret, her dress, her heart. But behind Neoma's perfectly painted lips was envy, rotting quietly. Alex had started changing long before the wedding. He stayed out late. He hid his phone from her, made excuses. Teni noticed, but love blind. She told herself, it's just stress. Men get cold feet. She didn't know the betrayal has already begun, not just behind her back, but in her own bloodline. The day of the wedding arrived. White chairs, golden drapes, guests in lace and silk, smile everywhere. But beneath the beauty, a storm was brewing. Teni stood before the mirror in her white dress. She looked like a dream, a goddess, an angel. But in her eyes, a flicker of something else, doubt and fear. She reached for her phone, paused, then smiled at herself. She said to herself, you love him and he loves you. Nothing is wrong. She was wrong. She wanted to surprise him to see him. Just before he walked down the stairs to calm both their nerves, she knocked. Alex, baby, are you ready? He paused, then his voice, almost my love. Her smile faded. Something in his tone wasn't right. She opened the door, and what she saw scattered her heart. Neoma in his arms, their lips locked, hands wandering. They didn't even hear her enter. She gasped. She turned, eyes wide. Alex, Neoma, what is this? This isn't what it looks like, Alex said. Teni, listen please, Neoma said. Teni yelled. You have been sleeping with her, my cousin. You lied to me. Alex's face twisted. Something shifted behind his eyes. Not guilt, not shame, just calculation. You weren't supposed to find out. Then it happened. He reached her. She screamed. Neoma grabbed her from behind. Their hand tight around her throat. She struggled, kicked, tears streaming. But Banquet fell, and the world went black. But she didn't stay dead. Not completely. Her soul refused to rest. She rose, cold, invisible, watching as they cleaned their crime. Alex adjusted his tie. Neoma wiped the blood off the door. They stepped out and smiled. And just like that, the wedding went on. The music played, the camera rolled, and the lights began. Alex smiled like a king, a man about to marry into wealth, into power, into a legacy he didn't deserve. But while the crowd waited for a bride, a ghost was watching from the window. Teni stood there, not in flesh but in spirit, cold, silent, staring. Please rise, the officiant said. All heads turned, phone raised, smiled wide, but no one came. Alex swallowed hard, his palms sweat inside his abada. The silence grew lighter. Suddenly, a gust of wind. She came. Teni walked through the crowd, came straight to Alex, was watching him, but didn't see anything. The crowd applauded, smiled, cameras everywhere. At the reception, he couldn't eat, couldn't drink. Every mirror seemed wrong. Every toast sounded like a warning. Then the slideshow. Photos of the couple, journey, smile, memories, dates. But in two photos in the background, a shadow, faint viewed, standing just behind Alex. The projector flickered, guests murmured, and for a second, Alex thought he heard her whisper his name. Why? They never left for the honeymoon. Alex said he had business to handle. But truth be told, he was afraid. Everywhere he went to, Teni followed. He had waked in the middle of the night to see her veil hanging on the door, even though he burned it. He would hear running water in the bathroom, steam rising, a faint voice singing. Remember when you said forever? Neoma tried to move on, tried to pretend nothing happened, but Teni wouldn't let her. She'd open the fridge and see wedding cake inside. Even though she threw it away, she would hear a knocking at the front of the door, only to find a bridal banquet on the floor, drenched in blood. Neoma stopped sleeping, started shaking. She swore she saw Teni smiling in the mirror behind her. Then came the dream. Alex would wake, drenched in sweat, to see Teni sitting beside him on the bed, eyes hollow, veil soaked. She wouldn't speak, wouldn't blink, just stare. And when he turned on the light, she would vanish. But the bed would still be wet, with something cold. Teni's father came by, demanding answers. She hasn't called, she hasn't written. Alex lied. She left, she ran away. Chief Aluko didn't believe him, but he left for now. Guilt eats the weak first, and Neoma was crumbling. She wrote a confession, but before she could send it, the light went out. The candle she lit flickered out, and on the window, Teni appeared, face pale, dress drenched, veil torn. Just watching, Neoma screamed, collapsed, and the letter dripped under the door. The police got the letter. No name, just one sentence. She didn't run, she was killed. And the location, groom's dressing room. They knocked, he didn't answer. They kicked the door open. He was inside, talking to no one. Or so they thought. He was arguing with Teni, begging her to stop. But to them, he looked insane. In the backyard, they found a shallow grave. Inside what was left of her, the veil still wrapped around her neck. Alex stood in court, silent, trembling. He claimed she was alive, that she was still watching him. When the verdict came in, guilty, the lights flickered out in the courtroom and everyone felt cold. Neoma was never charged, but her mind broke. She now lived in a hospital. She talked to a shadow, feed invisible guests at night, and sang wedding songs to herself alone. The wedding Teni never had. She finally walked down an empty aisle. No music, no applause, only peace. Her spirit free at last. She looked back one final time, smiled, and disappeared into light. They thought they could kill her and move on. But some love doesn't forget and some soul doesn't rest. This was her story, the ghost bride. Teni, may her name never be forgotten. Subscribe for more interesting stories like this, and I will see you in my next video. Drop a comment of your thoughts about the justice of what happened to Alex and Neoma, if it's right or if it's wrong. Thank you.